It's time for another daily drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. And if you're checking us out on our YouTube channel, that is Tar Heel Illustrated. We're also Tar Heel Illustrated on Facebook, and we're at Heel Illustrated on Twitter. You can find the daily drop at around 11 a.m. Monday through Friday on all of these spaces. But it's best to check us out over on our website at THI. And I am THI publisher Andrew Jones, and joining me is our director of basketball recruiting, longtime college AAU and high school coach, Mr. David Sisk. And the topic here today, David, is Drake Powell. His name exploded during the early stages of EYBL. I remember when he committed, a lot of Carolina fans like, he's another Leaky Black. He'll be good to have. Well, his game in this, I'm a big Leaky guy. I think everybody knows how I feel about Leaky as a player and just as a dude. But it looks like Drake Powell's game has entered a new realm. Other than just that, he's got a lot of the Leaky Black qualities, but there's more to his game. And he is a guy who has ascended as much as anyone here in recent months. You saw him in person in Georgia, had a chance to talk to him and watch his game. So what did you see? What kind of player did you see, and where do you see this thing going with his game?
I've got a player crush on Drake Powell. And he's ranked number 38 by Rivals, and he's woefully underrated. And I'm not saying this as a fanboy. I would say this if he was playing at Cal State Northridge, he is underrated. And it was really our first time in a situation like this to get to see him. And even before the game, I mean, he just jumps off the page in warm-ups, and I'm like, whoa, there's not many other people. And you got to remember, in the EYBL, out of top 150 in his class, probably 100 out of top 150 are playing EYBL. So he is with the best of the best, and there's a bunch of them. And his frame, and especially when he gets a sweat going, just absolutely just sticks out. There's not many. There's a handful that look like him. And the talent matches the package. I think he's top 20. I think he could end up being top 10, top 15, because, and I'll give you an example. And for those who are subscribers or read our stuff, they know this. I've already shared it. But one of my best friends in coaching is a Big East coach. And we're watching him play, and he's watching we're at the same court. He's watching some other guys. And Drake made some kind of play. He looked over at me. He said, when North Carolina is North Carolina, that's the kind of player they get. And I'm telling you, when I look back, you think about the days, I guess being older, obviously you think about Worthy, Perkins, Jordan. I'm not willing to go there. But then you get back into the 90s and think about Stackhouse and Rasheed Wallace and Mitch Carter and all those guys. He has, and he's can be, in my opinion, somebody physically and athletically like that. So when you look at it, you say, okay, sounds like Leaky was that type. But Drake Powell has got just a ton of offensive skill. I watch him defensively, and it's effortless. And he takes pride in it. He's in a full squat. His butt's that far off the ground in the defensive stance, and he's sliding heel to toe just like he's on glass.
That's where the Leaky comparisons came from initially. Yeah. That's what people saw in him, and that's what they focused on. But it's the offensive stuff, David. And by the way, what is his weight? Did they have rosters available with the current weights of those kids? Because
and I would have
him at 174, but he looked bigger than that.
His shadow weighs 174. So I would look. I would say he's probably in the 185, 190 pound range.
Yeah,
maybe more than that. But man, he's thick up in his upper body. Like I said, he just looks like a great god. So you're talking about 8 games in. He's averaging 13.8 points, 6.1 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 1.9 block shots, 43.4% shooting overall. But I'm looking at something I had in the story here. That's where I'm getting it from. he shot well the first weekend, didn't shoot it as well in Phoenix, so it's been kind of spurty. But he is shooting, like I said, 81% from the foul line. He shot his 3-point numbers that's the thing that's going to have to improve. I watch him shoot, and I think he's got good form. And once again, 81% from the foul line. We had this little talk just a little while ago about another player, but I think that he'll be able to step that out. But I'm going to tell you what, his handles, he can pass it. He can get into the lane. He's explosive, and he's just got that strong body. He can shoot the ball. He's got a good mid-range game. He's got a good game at the bucket. The only thing I would say, he's just got to get that 3-point shot more consistent, man. And I know that may be what maybe they're looking at as far as rankings go, is his outside shot. And you got to remember, he started off the beaten path also. So sometimes you get a player that's ranked low, or a lot of people don't know about. It takes them the full 4 years up and about that last rating cycle to really get up, and we've seen that before. But to me, he's got the goods.
Yeah, I also remember some of the commentary when he committed was he could have waited to take his commitment. He didn't need to take it so soon. And it's interesting. You got to trust certain people's eyes when they see a kid and they project in their own mind what they think they're going to see. So where do you project him slotting in college? Is he got enough handles? Is he bouncy enough to play two? Does he look like he's more of a 3 that could give you a physical presence? Or can he drop down as an occasional stretch 4 because he's strong enough and he's 6'6" and he hits the boards well?
That's where this lineup is going to be really fascinating to me, because you could be looking at the potential of a Elliot Cadeau, a Simeon Wilcher, an Ian Jackson. You could be looking at, obviously, you're going to be looking at Drake Powell, and then whatever they have inside. So the perimeter, like 1 through 3, 1 through 4, could be dynamic. So you can see, I don't know, he's 6'6", so it's kind of hard to play a 6'6" guy at that 4 spot. But man, I'm going to tell you, I was just sitting here thinking, and for whatever reason, it never even hit me until I got home. I said, hey, he's going to be playing with Ian Jackson. So you've got Ian Jackson and Powell on the wings. I think they're positionless. I think they're a 2, they're a 3. I look at Ian Jackson more on the ball, but CP3's running Powell some at point. So he's on the ball. So you kind of think about him off, but he's doing a lot of on-ball stuff. So I'm curious to see how that kind of goes. And so right now, you just think, man, just a tremendous athletic, strong, scoring wing, slashing wing, but you may not think playmaker. And it looks to me like that's the next step that they're trying to make. Get him into that playmaker role. And I think it's something, like I said, as much as he's got the ball in his hands, CP3's 7-1 through 2 weekends. So they're doing well with that. And, but also, refine that 3-point shot. But like I said, he's shooting well from the foul line. So, in a nutshell, man, I think they've struck gold. Like you said, when he first committed, people were kind of thinking, man, they're in on Cam Scott. Why would they do that? But to me, I think Drake Powell is just blown by Cam Scott, in his class. And I like Cam too. I'm not saying anything bad about him. But, man, that's just what I think about Drake Powell. Like I said, I think he's top 20.
Got to throw another Leakeyism in there, the point guard stuff. Leakey told me a few times this past season, he's a point guard. We talk a lot about where he might slot the next level, and he actually thinks he has a chance to play on the ball some at the next level if someone gives him that opportunity. So lots of Leakey Drake Powell comparisons, but every guy's their own player. In the end, no matter how many dudes are compared to whoever, they're never exactly alike. They're their own guy, and that's why I don't mind the comparison game, but I like to find that individual's own self, like we did with Elliot Cadeau. When we said, okay, you look at Ed Cota, you look at Kendall Marshall, but Elliott has parts of both of them, but he's his own guy. So clearly Drake is his own guy too. We will follow his progress over the course of the summer and all the different camps. You got to be a member to check out David's constant stuff on the boards. And that's just $8.33 a month. You could be a Carolina insider too, and you get access to everything we do, all sports, recruiting. And don't forget, guys, we go wherever the Tar Heels go in football and basketball. This has been another daily drop here on Tar Heel Illustrated. He's David Sisk. I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by.